Pompano Beach Airport was constructed during World War II as an outlying field for Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale. What is now the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. On August 29, 1947, the city of Pompano Beach obtained the airport under the Surplus Property Act of 1944 and renamed it Pompano Beach Air Park due to its intent to limit the airport's usage to general aviation. Additional land surrounding the airpark, including land along Copans Road and the Florida East Coast Railway tracks to the west of the airpark, were transferred to the city on June 24, 1948, bringing the total acreage at the airpark to 1,035 acres.
Okay, runway 15 is the active runway. Pappy's still out of service. He's got banner to our southbound. You got no movement on the ground at this time. Got a helicopter running up. Hasn't called yet.
The Pompano Beach Air Park comprises of about 60 to 65% of the traffic at this airport is flight training. We are a general aviation airport. We have no commercial service at this airport, so you will not see American Airlines, Delta Airlines, or any of those type of air carriers flying into and out of Pompano. You won't see FedEx, you won't see UPS, you'll see no cargo type aircraft flying in and out of Pompano Airport. We serve the general aviation market, and because of the design group, for aircraft design group for our airport, we can only service smaller to light business jets and all of the single and twin engine aircraft from 12,500 pounds and less. And as I said before, 60 to 65% of the activity at this airport is flight training. Last year, calendar year, we had 138,670 operations at this airport. The trend is starting to go higher. I believe the year before we had 125,000 aircraft operations. An operation consists of a takeoff and or a landing. So if you take off, that's an operation. If you land, that's another operation. That's how the tower keeps track of the operations at the airport. If you've ever looked at a map of the United States, and we have many aerials, and you can see, especially in Florida, many satellite and Army, back then in the 1940s was Army and Navy training bases for pilots. Florida had the best weather for training. It still does. That's why Florida is known as one of the best student training sites in the world, is Florida and also Arizona.
Pompano Beach Air Park covers an area of 650 acres, which contains 3 runways. The airport also has an operational air traffic control tower under the FAA Contract Tower program. The tower operating hours are from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. The airport is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I will get calls. As a matter of fact, I got one this morning from an individual who wanted to know what the airport operating hours were. And I told him that it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And he was under the impression that there was only open certain hours and providing services at certain times. I said, no, we are a public use facility. We're open 24 hours a day. Anybody can come and land or take off at this airport at any time during the course of the day. The Pompano Airport, we have 5 staff members full-time working for the city of Pompano Beach, maintaining the airport and the airport grounds. We also have 5 part-time operations people, and those people are here during the weekends and holidays and evening hours when obviously staff and management isn't here, to oversee the airport and inspect for daily inspections of runways and taxiways, airfield lighting, assisting aircraft if in the event that they land and there's a tire blown on the runway. They coordinate with the fixed base operator to bring out a tug to move the aircraft off the active runway. There's over, I believe, 180 employees total at the airport from 20 different service providers or 20 different tenants and subtenants on the airport. The airport has an annual payroll of almost $10 million of all the employees that are combined at the airport. And the airport, believe it or not, is a very big economic generator for the city of Pompano Beach. I believe the indirect and direct economic impact of this airport is $54 million to the local economy. We recently completed a business plan at the airport, or for the airport, that was presented to the City Commission back in November, explaining just what I've just said to you. People fly into the airport, transients. There's a lot of people that fly in, stay in Pompano, park their airplane here, go to the beach, stay in one of the hotels, go out to a restaurant. So every time someone comes in, they're purchasing goods and services from the local community, which then again provides a benefit to the city of Pompano Beach. A fixed base operator is just another acronym for, I like to explain it to people as a gas station for airplanes. So when you fly in, you'll fly into the fixed base operator. If you're a transient, and that means someone that is not based here but just flies in just for the weekend or to stay in the city and stay at the airport, the fixed base operator also has subtenants that they lease to that provide services. We have subtenants that are providing flight training. We have subtenants that are providing aircraft charter and sightseeing tours. We have some tenants on the field that are providing maintenance services to pilots that need it. We have a big operation on the airport that does aircraft interiors. So if you go down to the fixed base operator shelter on the east end of the airfield, they have a tenant who does a lot of overhaul and upgrading to the interiors of business jets and light business aircraft. We have engine overhaul and repair facilities here on the airport. So you bring your airplane in, it happens to break down or you need service to it. Every aircraft has to, per FAA regulations, get a 100-hour inspection. Then there's annual inspections that need to be done. Well, we have FAA certified, trained, and licensed technicians on the field that can conduct and perform those services. We have just recently, we have a new tenant on the field from one of our other FBOs, which is Pompano Aviation. It's called Daher Sokata. It's the TBM family of aircraft. The aircraft are built over in France, but the Daher Sokata North America headquarters is now here based at Pompano Beach Airport. And these aircraft are single-engine, turbine-engined aircraft that are the fastest single-engine turboprop in the world. The aircraft range in price from anywhere from $3 million to $4 million, depending on how you outfit it with avionics and interiors and other upgrades inside the aircraft. The aircraft, I believe, can fly at an altitude of 31,000 feet and a cruising speed of over 330 knots. That's pretty impressive. The aircraft has a range of almost 1,700 nautical miles. So they can fly from here to Chicago, no problem, without having to stop for fuel.
Pompano Beach ground maintenance 1.
Maintenance 1, Pompano.
Yes, sir. Just to the west here, I'd like to proceed out to Taxiway Bravo and the approach end of 15.
Maintenance on the airfield is much more than just mowing. We maintain over 900 runway and taxiway lights. We maintain over 30 miles of underground cable. We maintain numerous PAPI boxes, which stand for Precision Approach Path Indicators, which is for the planes to be able to land safely. We have to maintain spraying, weed eating, and mowing of all the runway and taxiway edges so the planes are able to land safely and be able to take off safely. We do numerous hours of stuff just on the airfield alone. It not only includes the mowing, but also includes much more than just that. I mean, we have trees we have to trim, trees we have to cut, to maintain the planes to land and take off safely. So it's more than just mowing on this airfield, so yes. The biggest issue we have with runway and taxiway lights and the maintenance for those is you would either have a plane that will sometimes occasionally will run them over and they have to be replaced, or just going out. I mean, or you have an electrical failure, which includes a runway being going down, which is essential for airplanes, obviously, to land and take off. They need to know, especially at night. You have to understand the tower is only open from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At that time, the airport is still open and operational, and planes can land and take off. And if a runway is not up and running, or if the lights are not running, they cannot do that, and therefore the airport would be shut down, or the runway would be shut down. They can't do it properly. So we have to really stay on the runway and taxiway lights being operational at all times, 24/7. With the surface, we don't have, the only problems that really occur here are just the normal wear and tear of the fading of the lines, the center lines, the lead-in lines, which lets the aircraft know where to go, taxiway, paint, just the normal, everyday stuff, regular maintenance that we have on there, nothing major, so no. To maintain this facility, we use numerous maintenance and vehicles. We have 2 big mowers that we use to mow the airfield 4 to 6 times a year, depending on how much the grass grows. We have a front-end loader to help fill owl holes or old turtle holes that have been abandoned and can become an issue for airplanes. Me personally, I use numerous electrical instruments to meg the wiring. I have electrical stuff to test the wiring, to test the meter, test the voltage and stuff like that. So just smaller equipment. We have obviously normal stuff, weed eaters, edgers, spray, because we have to spray all the weeds and everything like that, but just normal stuff like that. As far as the maintenance people here, I am the maintenance foreman. I have 2 people, service worker 3, Ed Bingenheimer, and a service worker 2, Thomas Mohorn. Obviously, we have a secretary, Valerie, and we have the airport manager, Steve Rocco. As far as when it comes to maintaining the airfield, myself, Ed Bingenheimer, and Tom Mohorn, we all maintain the airfield. We are all qualified, and we have all been to numerous classes to be able to maintain the airfield, to go out onto the airfield, to be able to talk to the tower, because you cannot go onto the airfield without talking to the tower first. That is a must. That is a requirement of the FAA and of the tower. So they are required to, and they do go out with me at numerous times. As far as a set routine, it's pretty much, a routine is every morning for me. Personally, I come in every morning, I clock in, and I must do a runway taxiway inspection, which consists of getting into the vehicle, turning on my lights, turning on the aviation radio, calling the tower, and having permission to proceed up. We have a certain route onto the runway and taxiways to do all inspections.
Pompano Beach ground maintenance 1.
Maintenance 1, Pompano.
Yes, sir. Maintenance 1 would like to do a runway inspection, runway 15, holding short of 6.
Maintenance 1, proceed as requested, hold short of runway 6.
Copy that. Maintenance 1 proceeding as requested, holding short at runway 6. Pompano Beach Ground Maintenance 1.
Inspections must be done first thing in the morning. They are done by me. If I'm not here, then they are done by Ed Bingenheimer or Thomas Mulhorn. The inspections consist of proceeding up every runway taxiway with the okay and clearance from the tower. The inspections consist of checking for lights that are out, any FOD, which is foreign object debris, which consists of, could be anything from a bolt, a screw, a golf ball, anything like that. You check for that in the morning. You check for any of the aviation lights that might be out or are not working properly, and if they are out, they must be fixed right away, if they can be fixed right away. Sometimes there are things that cannot be fixed right away that have to be ordered and stuff like that, but every morning an inspection has to be done, has to be made to make sure that everything is clear on every runway, and every taxiway has to be done first thing in the morning so the planes can safely take off and land.